What do you
Okay.
think personally about the things going on in Chicago right now? Do you have any suggestions in mind for the city to be safer again for everyone? Do you
Oh my
think Mayor
God.
Johnson is doing a good job right now in his
What a,
first few weeks in office?
what a great question. Wow. I'm actually very impressed. I have no opinion on Mayor Johnson right now. His tenure is, his track record is still yet to be laid out. Tell you from a political perspective, from a businessman's perspective, from a guy that's worked hard his whole life, saw his father work hard. The first thing, the first thing is this: we need economic growth in Illinois. We're $8 billion in debt. We can't even pay our bills. I champion marijuana sales. It's bringing in $300 to $400 million a year. It's helping, but we still have to curb the debt, curb the budget, curb these ridiculous pensions that are making these pension programs circle the drain. That's number one. Number two, you have to convince businesses to come to Chicago. And the only way you're going to keep doing that is by providing a safe environment for these businesses. And the only way you're going to provide a safe environment is to flood the south and west sides of Chicago with a police presence, no matter how militaristic it looks. We've taken the marijuana drugs off the table as far as gang crime. We need, to better our education, because a more educated person, especially in underprivileged or underserved or in minorities, a higher educated minority person has got such a better chance of going to college and developing a life for themselves. They've got a future. And as uncomfortable as this sounds, I don't care. We need to have African American men start raising their sons and daughters again, and try to keep these African American, these black families intact. The fatherless homes in Chicago and in this country is at an epidemic proportion, and it is destroying a swath of youth that is catastrophic. A black 16-year-old in the south side of Chicago, that's my neighbor. He might not live next to me. It's my neighbor. It's my neighbor's kid. He's fatherless. So we have got to have, and we're getting better at it. We've got to have black males back in the home, as a role model for their kids, especially for young men. And that might make people feel uncomfortable, and I don't care. We all know that's the issue. And all of these black preachers who just love the TV camera, that's all the time they show up. We need to put them to a side and get real people from the south and west side of Chicago, um, um, who want to do good and are doing good for the community. And this is one of the things that pisses me off about the alien program with the government. We think they've spent $8 trillion studying aliens and reengineering craft. Can you imagine what that money would have done on the south and west side of Chicago for the past 50 years? The
Mm.
recreation centers, the tuition, the daycare, the transportation assistance, helping people with medical bills. Can you imagine what $8 trillion would have done to the underserved and the underprivileged in this country? It makes me sick. And I'm one of the
Yeah.
underserved. I'm not a rich man, so I put myself in along with them. Can you imagine what that money could have done for this country? But if the Illinois legislature doesn't want to take a serious look at the pensions and our budget, it's never going to change. Do you know that it will cost $300 million to build Soldiers Field? Because we put off the principal payments, we owe $600 million for Soldiers Field. I mean,
Wow.
these are, I'm not going to, these are not very thoughtful people that have done these budgets and made these decisions in the past. I hope that the new crop of politicians and legislatures have now realized that the grim reaper is at the door, and it's time we need to act and take serious, hard actions that aren't going to be comfortable for people, but they need to be done. And we have to, for God's sakes, protect our youth and our families on the south and west side of Chicago. That is what's going on there is a form of genocide. It makes me sick, and these people deserve to not have their 8-year-old get shot in the front of their living room or playing out on the street, and that needs to stop immediately.
Man, well said.